He grew weary of nameless whores, but at least there was an honesty about them, and they could not afford to show any displeasure with his size, his plain looks, or, he grimaced as he glanced down at himself, his redness. While his skin had none of the ruddy hue that often cursed redheads, he knew few people really noticed that. Flame-red hair and freckles too often hid the colour of his skin. Even his large size worked against him, for it simply provided a greater area for the wretched flame colour to display itself. The sound of the door opening pulled him from his self-denigration. "Do you mean to spend the day abed?" drawled Roger, his right-hand man, as he let Thayer's night entertainment slip out of the room before shutting the door. "Nay." Thayer sprang to his feet, then moved to wash up. "A revel awaits us." Roger settled his slender frame on the rumpled bed. "Your position as heir will soon end." "Aye. William will soon breed an heir, I've no doubt of that. He's proven his skill at that many times over." "You sound little concerned that you will remain a landless knight, or become some lordling's castellan." "It troubles me little. Only a fool will think a man like William would never wed or sire an heir. Far better than the chore falls to him than to me. 'Tis a duty I would be hard set to fulfil." "You belittle your worth. I have never seen you lack for a wench to warm your bed." "They check the value of my coin first." Thayer ignored Roger's cluck of disapproval over the bitterness he had been unable to fully hide. Roger did not see him as a woman did. He saw a valued fighting companion, a friend, and someone who was like a brother to him. Roger found nothing wrong with the wealth of flame-red hair. In a man's eyes, the mat on his broad chest, the healthy tangle of curls around his loins, and the furring on his strong forearms and long muscular legs were merely signs of manliness. Men also saw his large, robust frame as something to envy. Many a man would like to stand head and shoulders over other men. They did not understand that dwarfing many a pretty young lady inspired more fear than admiration. Neither would Roger see what was wrong with his face, a visage as strongly hewn as his body. Years of living by the sword had begun to turn Thayer's lack of beauty towards ugliness. When Roger saw how several breakings had left his strongly angled nose faintly crooked, the man simply recalled the battles that had caused it. Thayer knew that possessing all his own teeth was something to take pride in, yet that pride was dimmed by the knowledge that his thin-lipped mouth was beginning to show scarring from all the times it had been split. Idly he fingered the ragged scar that marred his high-boned cheek. Here, too, Roger would see little fault, recalling only the glorious battle that had caused it. He tried to put some order into his hair, which had the unfortunate tendency to curl. Even if Roger was right, that he could capture a woman's heart, it did not matter. He had no place to house it. If he found love, he would only see the woman given over to another. Few men wanted to give their daughters to a landless knight. "Come, Roger, help me truss my points. We must soon be away. I am eager to see the one William calls an angel." Gytha slammed the door behind her as she strode into her room. Flinging herself upon her bed, she began to curse, colourfully and continuously. Her full red mouth, so often praised by her suitors, spat out every foul oath she knew. When she ran out of ones she knew, she made up new ones. As always, when she indulged in such a venting of her temper, she finally mouthed one that struck her as funny. Chuckling softly, she watched her door open and grinned when her cousin Margaret cautiously peeked inside. "Are you John?" Margaret slowly entered the room, easing the door shut behind her. "Aye. I just put a curse on every man in the kingdom. Then I thought on what could happen if it took hold." She giggled again. "There are times when I feel you ought to be doing a great penance." Smiling faintly, Margaret placed an elaborately embroidered gown on the bed. "Your bride's dress. 'Tis finally done. Let us see how it fits." Sitting up, Gytha gently touched the gown, recognizing and appreciating its beauty, but not very pleased to see it. "You must be the best seamstress in the land. You could be dressmaker to the Queen." She smiled faintly when her cousin's pretty face turned pink. In fact, she mused, Margaret was not only pretty, with her wide hazel eyes and light brown hair, but nearly 18. She too ought to be wed. While it was true that Margaret could not reach too high, it did not mean the girl lacked all prospects. Her uncle